So, good evening, everyone. I am Deo Castillo, and for tonight, we will discuss about cognitive dissonance theory. So, what is cognitive dissonance theory? Cognitive dissonance theory is the perception of contradictory information. Relevant items of information includes a person's actions, feelings, ideas, beliefs, values, and things in the environment. So, this is about having a different perception or contradictory perception of different people. It is also a mental conflict that is happening between the beliefs you have and the things that is actually happening right in front of you. So, this means that uh, there is a mental conflict, that is happening when your beliefs don't line up with your actions. So next slide. So the origins of cognitive dissonance theory. So the origin of cognitive dissonance theory comes from Mr. Leon Festinger in 1950. So according to him, he say that there is an inconsistency between our actions and our beliefs. So um there actions that we do that actually make us uncomfortable, and eventually it changes our behavior and our mentality. So that is what he said about cognitive dissonance theory. So next slide. So the curtailment of cognitive dissonance, or how should I say this, ways of reducing cognitive dissonance. So first is make difference on your discordant beliefs. So if your beliefs are not right anymore or are not suited for you anymore, then try to make a difference. Change it if you want or if it's needed to be changed. Second is focus more on the beliefs that is in tune with your behavior. So this means that you should um, have focus, or you should make more time on the beliefs that's suited for you, or like um that is right for you. Like um you should grow those things, or how should I say it? You should um make those beliefs improve or um progress. Okay, so you should also disregard beliefs that doesn't really matter to you. You should discard them, and um you should organize which are beliefs that uh, that is important to you, and which belief are that wi- and which belief that is not important to you. So you should dissect, or like separate, important beliefs and not important beliefs. Ayon. So next is diminish the essence of clashing beliefs physically and mentally. So this means that you should eliminate, for example, if you have contradicting beliefs, like for example, if you have um, if for example the belief of God's existence, for example, like um, on the one hand you believe that God is existing, and on the other hand you're not believing that God is existing. So that is clashing beliefs. So what you should do is try to eliminate it, so you could have um a peace of mind, and you could focus on other things that is important. So that's it. So next slide is Here is, we will discuss now about the areas of cognitive dissonance theory. And here is the first area, which is effort justification. So this means, or this is about a person having the possibility to do something uncomfortable just to achieve certain outcome or just to achieve that result. Like they're doing things that is uncomfortable to them for the sake of seeing the result of their action. For example, um, mountain climbing. For example, Juan doesn't like mountain climbing, and it's uncomfortable for him to do that because he's scared of heights. But one day, he tried to hill climb. He tried to discover if if he will be on the if ever he will already be on the top of the hill, will he still be scared of heights or not? So that is what I mean why that is that is what I mean when effort justification. So if the outcome of the activity or the effort that the person have is not, is unpleasant or is distasteful, then um that would decrease the dissonance, and also he would try to justify the action that he have done. Like in like one, like for example, he have failed to climb the top of the mountain. So he tried to justify that effort he have done. He would try to say that, I may have failed in climbing the top of the hill. At least I have learned something. So that is effort justification, when you're trying to justify the effort of, when you try to justify the effort that you have poured on things that fails. So now let's move on to next slide, which is another area of cognitive dissonance theory, which is imposed compliance or induced compliance. So it is uh this is a concept of high ranking person or persons of authority that trying to um abuse their effort or trying to excessively use their effort to the people below them. So um an example of this is like about a boss and his secretary. Like when the boss orders his or her secretary to drive for him, and the secretary, still do it even if it is not part of his or her job description anymore. So this is about forcing people below, or forcing people who are of lesser power to do something that is out of their will, and that is not right for them. So that is an imposed compliance, when you're trying to abuse your your power or your authority for the things that does not really matter, or like you are using your power in a wrong way. Yeah. So now we'll proceed to the next slide. So here are the examples of cognitive dissonance. So first is alcohol drinking. So when you love to drink alcohol and you know that it's not good for your health, you will still do it. So that is where cognitive dissonance comes. Like Your belief that, or your knowledge that, drinking alcohol every day is not good, but your action is contradicting by do or your action is contradicting by doing the opposite of your belief, which is drinking alcohol. So that is an example of cognitive dissonance, wherein like your belief and your action, or like your knowledge and your action contradicts. So another is enough sleep. There are people that, especially a student, there are moments that we try to um say, or we're trying to um have ourselves enough sleep. Like for example, today, like you promise yourself that, okay, I will sleep for 8 or 9 or 10 hours. But in the long run, when you're about to sleep, you know, you're already distracted, you know, which, of course, you broke your promise, or you broke what you've said, that you will sleep for 8 hours, because you're already distracted. So, na siya. And last example is social media detox. There are people that when they're intoxicated with social media, they will try to say to themselves and even to their friends that, you know what, I'm so over already with social media and I don't like it anymore. So I will try to have social media detox, which means that you will not open your social media accounts. But after saying that, opposite happens. You say to yourself that you will try to keep yourself off from social media, but the next day, you're already scrolling on your Facebook and your Twitter account. So that is an examples of cognitive dissonance. So there is a contradicting actions. So that's it. So now we'll proceed to the next slide.